How did they do it?
You know what? They have a motto in that clubhouse, and it's humble at bats. It's a group of guys, especially now. You just see them; they're ball players, and they have humble at bats, which means they're working for the next guy behind them. In this day and age, like I said, it's tough because the money's so big and there's selfishness going on and home runs pay or whatever it is. But it was a very unique situation being around these guys, from Benintendi to Jackie Bradley Jr. and Mookie Betts and J.D. Martinez, your two stars. Very humble. They put together a group like Brock Holt, hits for the cycle in the postseason, but they tremendous at bats and grind you all the way through. And then you look up and they had 19 wins when it's all said and done with the World Series trophy, and 108 wins leading the league this year. So they were underdogs a few of the games in Dodger Stadium, and it's just like they don't get the credit.
So John Henry said afterwards, Kevin, that it's the best Red Sox team ever. As somebody who broke the jinx in 2004, would you agree?
They have the most wins ever. It's hard because our 04 team, and listen, I played on that team. I knew the group of guys. We were very similar. So I used a very similar type team to say it's better. It's always better when, they just won. I don't know if you can say better. I mean, you got a lot of Hall of Famers on our team. And the run that we had, being down 3-0 to the Yankees and winning 4 straight against them, and then going in and sweeping the Cardinals, who were the best team in the big leagues that year. I think they had like 105 wins, and we were a wild card team. It's hard to say better, especially a first championship in 86 years. And, Pedro Martinez and Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz and Kurt Schilling. I mean, there was a group of guys out there with some star power, but we were just a bunch of regular guys also. So I wouldn't say better. I would say very similar.
So who would you peg right now as potential Hall of Famers on the Red Sox team that just won the most wins that you point out?
Well, if I was to point somebody out, you're looking at a Mookie Betts. I mean, he could be one of the top 3 players, obviously, in the big leagues right now, and who knows with his athletic ability how long this is going to go, but he is a star. I mean, J.D. Martinez has turned himself into the best right-handed hitter over the last couple of years and really figured something out, whatever that is, whatever that secret medicine is. I'm sure he shared it with the team this year because he got better through Miguel Cabrera and's taken that over to Boston in his first year. So he could be a potential guy. They got David Price. You got to tip your hat to what he's gone through and the whole 0-9 in the postseason. His last 3 starts, boom, 3-0. He threw in 4 of the 5 games, in this game, or 3 out of the 5, whatever it was. I mean, out of the bullpen and starting. So there's a lot of great stories. Porcello, Chris Sale out of the bullpen. Evaldi, are you kidding me with that bullpen situation on the 18-inning game? 97 pitches night, and he was ready to throw the next day, he told Alex Cora. So they had a lot of guys that looked Alex in the eyes and said, I'm available however you need me, and that's when you check the ego in.
So do you think, Kevin Millar here on the Rich Eisen Show, since, you mentioned Betts as a potential Hall of Famer and then went down a list and I guess the names diminished from there, to be very honest with you. Do you think this team is built for the era of bullpenning and the era of where everybody else either walks or homers or strikes out, that this team makes contact and that they had a manager that pushed buttons knowing that, I guess, is this built for the analytics era, this Red Sox team?
They have a little bit of both. I just think the analytics, you can't go all in with it. You can't go a full season with an entire bullpen scene. You can go a short series. The Brewers prove that they can compete with that. But when you're talking about a 162 game schedule, and not everybody's got the same finances, and you understand that. But the starter is important. And I know we've gotten out of it for a second, but you need guys to go longer into games for the long season, or those bullpen arms will be out unless you're going to keep rotating guys. And then it gets real kind of dicey when you're talking about how do you pay a starter? How do you pay a Dallas Keuchel who's going to hit free agency this year? It's a good starter. It's been a great starter, and a Cy Young guy. And you're looking out there now, our starter's not valued. But, boy, when you got a big game in the postseason, you need that starter to give you some depth. And I know 4 and 5 innings, was a big deal this year. We saw Severino for the Yankees, go 4 innings, and he was got a standing ovation in Yankee Stadium. Back in the day, you would have got booed. So it's a very interesting dynamic, information-wise, in all sports. Give us the information, but you still got to have the eye test, Rich. We still can't lose sight of that and watch the game.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.